Welcome, everybody. This is One on One brought to you by Nebraska Equipment and Seward. I'm your host, Eric Johnson. On today's episode, got to sit down and talk with some softball players and Coach Lobby ahead of the regular season for the FC-EMF softball team. And then I got to sit down and talk one on one with Coach Fousek of the EMF volleyball team. We have that for you right now on One on One.
For this season, I think that our team can go so far. We have good team chemistry, and practices have been so fun. We were playing music earlier, so it's always good, and we all get along so well. So the 4 freshmen that came in this year have been so just welcomed, and they jump into every drill, even though they've never done it before. So I'm excited. We have a lot of returners, so we just keep working hard, and we'll do it.
Over the summer, I think we got a lot of good work. We got a lot of nights where there was open hitting practices and stuff like that, and we've got 4 freshmen coming up this year, and I think it's gonna be really good for us. I think we've got a lot of potential as a team, but it's all just gonna come down to how we can work together and our team chemistry and what we do with that.
And this might sound crazy, but I would prefer to play Lincoln East 8 times over a team that you know you can beat. I like playing teams that you know are going to be well coached, and they're really, really good players, obviously. And those are the types of things that challenge you when you find out what you really have on your roster.
Especially this early in the season, that's good to do. And and with it being Jamboree, I mean, stats don't count, so the girls can go out there and try some things. You can try some things as a coach, different positions and that kind of thing. So it's a fun time for everybody to do that, anyways.
Yeah. The mentality that I want these kids to understand and learn is, yeah, they're not keeping score. The game doesn't count, but it does to us. Mm-hmm. And I told them over here after the second game, people think I'm looking for a second baseman, or they think I'm looking for a catcher, or looking for an outfielder. I'm looking for competitors. I'm looking for ball players. I'm looking for kids that when a mistake happens, they're going to respond and be better because of it, because they want the ball hit to them the next time. And you're going to get exposed really fast when you play at the level we play if you don't have the mental fortitude to be able to withstand some adversity. So I thought that we had some kids respond really well. I thought we had some kids that are going to have to learn how to do that better, because you're not guaranteed anything in this game. I mean, we're not playing rec ball where everybody gets to play, and you have to earn your playing time, and you have to show through your performance that you deserve to be out there. And I like to say, make me look like an idiot for not playing you. And if we play just as well without you, then you got some work to do.
Takes me to the Raymond Central game. They're down 8-2, and we saw a lot of times last year where you guys were down, the girls just kind of gave up, and this time they didn't. They fought back. They had some good at bats. Yes, the pitching wasn't solid for Raymond Central, but they took their bats. They got walks. They drew the walks. They had the timely base hitting. When to run, and so really, to come back from 8-2 and end up winning 15-8. I mean, that's something that they didn't give up.
Well, the first inning, you probably saw smoke coming out of my ears because they weren't competing.
Right.
And I told them here afterwards, we got done with both games. We were late getting here. Traffic was crazy. We were probably 10 minutes later than we normally would for warm-up. But there was urgency to get warmed up. They couldn't stand around and talk. They couldn't go to the concession stand and get a hot dog. They couldn't go and have mom tell them how good they are. They had to be ready to go. And because of that, they knew playing Lincoln East, if you're not ready, they will embarrass you. And between games, we weren't. I let them have this opportunity to do their thing and do what they want to do to get ready. And obviously that was terrible. So hopefully we can learn from that so that the next time we get into a situation where we're playing back-to-back games, we don't do what we did before this last game next time. Because that's the trial and error process of it. And I'm happy that we're learning that lesson now. But we weren't ready to play at all. Our defense was absolutely atrocious.
Hadley came in out of the bullpen, did a good job. I think she faced 4 batters, threw up a 0 there, and so nice job for her to get them out.
What an awesome opportunity!
Yeah.
I said this to her after our scrimmage, or I know I might have said to somebody else other than her, but you get an opportunity, and sometimes for a young kid, there's nothing to lose. They don't have maybe the same level of expectations as a returning varsity pitcher, and she gets to just let it rip. If she doesn't maybe get 3 outs, she's maybe not expected to. However, when you get that out and you get that confidence building, now she should know you can get varsity outs, and then the kids behind her have to believe in her. And sometimes when you have a pitcher that you know is going to pound the zone, the defense is ready to play pitch by pitch because they know the ball is going to be put in play. and it's no different than just hitting a fungo to an infield. The fielders are constantly ready, and I think that's the case sometimes with Hadley pitching.
Looking ahead, Thursday you got CCV, you got York. Again, another triangular. Teams that you can't turn your head on. You got to get out there and you got to play your game. You got to be ready to go.
No, there is no easy game on our schedule. This is by far, I think, the most difficult schedule that I've ever created as a coach. I think we might even play more Class B teams than we do Class C teams this year. But the girls know this, and I'll say it publicly. I could give a darn about my record. I want to be the best team we can be by the end of the year, and I think if we can have a mentality that is as a competitor and just continue to get better week by week, then we can be a really good team.
Welcome to One-on-One. Eric Johnson with you. One-on-One brought to you by Nebraska Equipment in Seward. And joining me is Coach Fousek. We're talking volleyball. And Coach, like I said, I haven't got to see you in a long time. How did summer go for you and your squad? How did everything develop with practices and whatnot?
Yeah, summer went well. We learned a lot about each other, which was good. That's what summer's for. So I thought in that aspect it went really well. We bonded as a team and really just got to know the girls, got to know what I expected of them and what our assistants expect of them. So that was good for summer. We had a lot of great competition this summer. We were able to go to top 10 again. Top 10 went okay. It was great competition, so it was good for us. We needed that. So overall, summer went really well.
So I got to ask you, side note, how did the TikTok battle go? Did you guys have a TikTok battle again this year?
We did, and we won the Concordia one. And
there you go.
In my opinion, we should have won the top 10 one. So I think there's a fluke, but we didn't win the top 10 one. But we did win the Concordia one.
Well, and that's all that matters, really. I mean, and that's part of the deal, building up this culture, having fun while you're playing, because we talk a lot, and especially you in having to rebuild a new foundation in this program. For you personally, as a coach, how does that make you feel, knowing that you're an integral part of history for this?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to think about that. I'm the one that gets to really start this foundation and build that culture up. Luckily, I've had coaches in the past that have shown me ways to build a culture. And at EM, I had Coach White and Coach Kroll showed me the way of what their culture at EM represents. So just bringing what I've learned along the way from high school, college, and my years at EM to build this and bring it to EMF, I'm excited, and it's going to be really fun.
And so at the time of this recording, we had the volleyball jamboree, Superior, Deschler, and yourselves. Everybody split evenly, one set each. So it was kind of all copacetic. But realistically, how did the girls play in your eyes last night?
Yeah, I thought they played really well, actually. There's a lot of nerves that go into that first game, especially with it being a new team. There's been a lot of hype for the girls, and they're excited. So controlling those emotions, those nerves as well, I thought they played really well, and I thought they had a good showcasing of what we can be, but what we also really need to work at.
Talking with Coach Fousek, One-on-One brought to you by Nebraska Equipment in Seward. Now, Coach, we've had a shift in opponents from last year to some unfamiliar faces this year, like Pawnee City, of course. We got Aquinas, teams like that. Tell us a little bit about the shift in some of the schedule here that we have this season. Tell us good, bad, in between, your thoughts.
Yeah, I'll start off with the bad. The bad is we got to drive over an hour every time we go away, but that's all right. But the good is that we get to experience new teams and new competition. Sometimes you get in a little bit of a rut with all the teams that you continually play. So I'm excited that we get to see new faces. I get to meet new coaches. I'm excited that get to experience those new things and play some really great competition.
Yeah, of course, we get to see some familiar faces, Shelby Rising City, Sutton, just to name a few. Also, our trip down to Mudecus, that'll be some familiar faces down there as well. But the newest addition is the Pioneers Conference Volleyball Tournament that's going to be taking place midway through the season. That's a whole new game for the Lady Bobcats. Tell us a little bit about that. Has the girls talked about some new competition and all that coming up this year?
We've talked about a little bit of new competition and who's in our conference. Even me and the EM girls, we don't know a lot of those teams because we didn't have to play them, but there also are some familiar faces, Dilla Rodell and Fall City Sacred Heart being two of them. So we all are excited to get to play those guys and experience a new conference tournament. So I think the excitement is there, and hopefully when that time comes, we'll be ready to go.
So how do they go for the Huskers? The early preseason guesstimates, I'm going to go at it. I think we're going to make it to state this year. What are you thinking?
I always think we're making it to state. So, but
Too early to tell, or am I spot on?
So yeah, I always think we're going to make the state. And I told the girls this, and I told the parents this as well. But I have a lot of talent this year. We have a lot of talent. It's maybe the most talent I've had on a team, just maturity-wise and also athletic ability. So we can go really far, but we got a lot of work to do. So.